Have yourselves.
And all things that we say and all the things that we do. How you doing? Um, when it comes to religion, and I want to blow you away. I'm not going to preach a sermon, but I'm going to tell you that if you're Muslim or a Christian or Buddhist, doesn't matter what you are, if God is alive and we know He is, then all the traditions and doctrines of men, what is it good for you? Know that song, right? But if our God is alive and all we have is scriptural interpretation, then it is not any different than any other religion on the planet. But our God's alive and spoke to us. He spoke to the prophets that we follow. And I want to tell you a story that I was on a motorcycle at 15, 16. I borrowed my cousin's motorcycle and took it around the block and lost control of it. I was going 52 to 55 miles an hour when I hit the curb. It was a Honda 350 four-stroke. And I hit the curb. And the only reason why I know I was going over 50 was the speedometer was cracked at 50 miles an hour. And I hurled through the air, hit the ground, got up, holding my arm. And consequently, things had happened where I went to the hospital, got sent back to the hospital. My mother and father were in Acapulco. And my grandma was watching me, watching us kids. I had long hair and went to the hospital during the holidays. And they sent me home. Well, my arm was killing me. It hurt so bad, my left arm, and I'm a lefty. This one. And my Uncle Vic came in the house. I was in bed trying to sleep, and my hand was crunching up. And I just was wreathing in pain. And he looked at my arm. He was in World War II, and he saw battlefield injuries. And that was a great battlefield injury where you didn't see anything external, but you saw men blowing up from the inside, being flooded by their own blood. And my arm was blowing up. Get to the hospital. Long story short, I almost lost my arm. If it wasn't for my Uncle Vic, my Uncle Frank, by the grace of God, my arm was saved. Now I'm recovering, and I thought to myself, I couldn't realize what I had. It happened so quick. I really did. When I got to the bottom of the hill, I didn't realize what I was doing, panicked, and hit the throttle, and I was going fast, and I hit the back brake, which is supposed to pull the front brake. I pulled the back brake, and then the motorcycle swerved, and I flew off. Well, as I was walking, this little girl, and this was a week or 2 weeks later, my arm was in a sling, and she walked up to me, straight up to me. And I didn't see her from behind me. I didn't see her in the front of me. I was walking down Hadlin Drive trying to recount what I had experienced because I couldn't remember it, the actual details. I knew there was a car anyway, this girl, this little 11-year-old girl, 10-year-old little girl came up to me, and I'm 15, 16. I didn't see her, didn't pass her, but all of a sudden, now how many little girls go up to, 15, 16-year-old guys and start talking to them? This little girl came up to me and said to me, "Were you on that motorcycle accident?" And I wasn't wearing a helmet. I was wearing a helmet. I don't know how she knew it was me. I don't know. She couldn't see my face. I was in a helmet going down the road. And I turned to her and I said, "Yeah, I was. I said, did you see what happened? I said, I went through the air and I got up and I was holding my arm. And she turned to me and she said, you didn't get up right away. You laid on the ground. And she said 30 seconds, but I don't know. She said you didn't get up. You laid on the ground and then eventually you got up. And I said, really? I said, because all I remember is getting right up. She said, no, you, in the sweetest, kindest voice, no, you didn't get up. Now I proceeded to walk. And that girl just, I don't know where she went. It's like she came up to me, talked to me, and that's all the message she had for me. And I was a wild person, a wild kid. I did things and thought about the consequences later. And I believe that was an angel of God trying to slow me down because he had a plan for my life. And that word from God was more important to me than any directive that Muhammad could give to you Muslims or a Christian with the message of healing and prosperity or any of the baloney that comes from their pulpit. The word from God Almighty is more important than anything that you can contrive of through another man's mouth. It's a promise. Since then, I have 4 children, 13 grandchildren. Been married to the same woman faithfully for 43 years. Been used in the ministry of God. And here I am talking to you. One word from God is more important and better for us than anything that we can do with another prophet by obeying the doctrines of another man or believing the doctrines of a prophet.